Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Hey everybody. I think we have sound today, so apologies again for what happened Sunday. You know, it happens, technical difficulties. And then I don't know what happened when I started up again, but you saw my my post and my project. I would be wearing those earrings today, but I took them up to the nearby store to sell, so I'm wearing some old stuff, which we might have made these live, I can't remember, but I decided since I won't see you again until after July 4th, I would deck out in all my patriotic gear today. So anyways, I'm Paula Montgomery from Desert Cat Creations, and I want to welcome you to week 26 of the 2026 Bead Stash Challenge. So this is our third year we've been doing this, you know, every week on Sunday we draw cards to see what our project is going to be for the week. Then I spend some time pulling things out of my bead stash, and on Thursdays I make them live for you. So today we're making hair beads. I know not everybody needs hair beads, but you know what? For like the 4th of July, if you make some patriotic ones, which we are actually going to make, it could be fun for a party, right? So. And, you know, with Halloween coming up, you can always make them for anybody who wants to dress as a pirate. So they're great for that. The hair beads card, it is in our Sun and Sea deck. So if you only have the basic ones, then the early decks, you won't have this card. But anyways, it's all in fun, right? Different ways to use your beads. And, you know, like I said, if you can make them short, you can make them long. It's all good, right? So just a reminder, our 20% off summer sale does go through July 11th. So you have until the 11th to get 20% off cards, kits, and bead mixes. So that does include our brand new quail kit. You get beads to make 3 quail. This is the big one. So there'll be 3 different sizes. You get a small, medium, and large. The small is definitely a baby. This is the large. We'll be doing a make-along at some point in the near future, so please stay tuned for that. If you're joining me, please say hello and let me know where you're coming in from. And like I said, we'll be, you have through Saturday to order your kits, or order anything that you want 20% off of. You can order directly from me by direct messaging me and commenting, or you can go to my website. So if you do order direct from me, if you're new to me, I will need an email address to send an invoice to. I only work through invoices, but you can use, I think, several of the Cash Apps, and I think you can use Apple Pay. You just can't use PayPal because they're competitors. Okay, so that's there it is. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I didn't search out my old hair beads, but we'll pull them out and see what we've got going today. So, all right. So, just a reminder what we drew and what we're working with today. So we drew the hair beads card. So, you know, if you ever watched like a pirate movie, Captain Jack always has beads dangling from his hair. So that's basically what hair beads are. Although I have seen, you know, if you search it, people put them in their beards, you know, so there's always that too. So anyways, we're going to make some hair beads today. I'm going to use some soft flex wire to make those. We have to use a spring ring or hinged clasp, so I still haven't totally sorted out. I'm going to do that. Let's see. All right, so I also, for hair beads, I prefer to put them on like these hair clips, but you could put them on the little fork clip, or I don't think I have one sitting around. Oh, yes I do. Actually, I have a little tiny one. These kind of clips, you can actually attach them. I have some clear ones that have a hole that you can attach them to, or you can attach them around the center. But yeah, these kind of clips work too. All right. Anyway, so we have to use a spring ring or hinged clasp. So I actually am going to use a double one. So you'll see how my thought is working for that. We have to use at least 5 different types of beads in our design. So I've got, coming at the 4th of July, we're going to use a couple different things. So I've got 2 different kinds of white beads. I've got some red beads. And I've got some blue beads there. I also have a couple of crystal stars. Let's see what else I had in here. Oh, and I had some silver hematite stars as well. All right, and then we have to use a charm in our designs. So these charms that are stars, because you know what, we're going with a little theme here, right? Get these red guys out. I have some green stars that I was thinking about, because to do something inspired by the rainforest. But I was thinking, because I was debating whether I could use red, white, and blue as my rainforest. And I decided that, you know what? I probably could, because, so you think about the blue, there's got to be water somewhere in the rainforest, blue skies, whatever, right? So all of that is good. And rainforests tend to have lots of flowers and fruits, so there's bound to be something red. And the white, you know, in some of them there's coconuts, so the inside of a coconut is white. So that's my justification for the red, white, and blue. Now, if you guys think that's pushing it a little bit, I do have some leaves I could put in there, or these green stars. I think the green stars would be a little more appropriate. These things are teeny tiny. They're only about like 4. They're definitely less than 4 millimeters. So, but I can put a couple of those in, and the green is my green leaves, so it'll still give me that same theme that I was going for with the stars and stripes, right? So stars, at least. Can you guys still hear me? Can you hear me? Is the sound working? Hello? I'm double checking the sound right now. Hello? I'm double checking the sound right now. All right. So my sound is still working. Hey, Lorraine. All right, so let's get started on these hair beads, and let's see what we've got here. So, all right, so let's set the cards aside. I'm going to, hi Marianne, it's nice to see somebody new out there. Thank you for joining me. So we're just going to get some beads out. And get started here. So, all right, there's my red. If you guys, those of you that do bargain bead box might recognize my red beads and my white beads. I'm going to use these white bicones. These are from like a winter box or something. All right. I also, if I need a little more length or another bead type, I was going to use these white milk glass beads that I have. I have a person I buy beads from, and she gets a lot of this milk glass. I don't know where she gets it from, but it's kind of nice. It comes in a lot of different shapes and stuff. So you're working as you want. Oh, okay. Well, Marianne, thank you. Glad you're joining us. You know, it's, you know, every week is a little different, and we make something a little different every week. So today we're making hair beads. If you haven't already, Marianne joined our Bead Stash Challengers group, and I apologize if you have, and I just don't know it because I don't. It, you know, it used to make me let people in, and now it just kind of lets people in without my permission, but that's fine. All right. Then I'm going to pull out my blue. So these are some, goodness, what are, forget where these beads are from. Well, I know where I got them from. They're from Stars Beads, but they're, there's a name for them. They come from overseas somewhere. Anyways, I thought I would do that. So we're keeping things fairly small here. And, oops, I don't need the wire. We're going to use some soft flex. I'm just using my Econo wire today because it'll be fine for this project. Got some crimps here. So basically we want to put, we can connect to these things. So these come in a couple different styles. There's holes in these that you can add to them. So these are the beadable ones. So there's this one with the 3 holes, and then there's one with like a big single hole. Now, if you have these just from being out in, you know, it just from the regular store where you buy clips, there's also a hole here usually, and you can use that hole if you want to, if they don't have the holes on the front end. So I just find it easier for them to dangle from here, but it doesn't really matter. So I think I will go ahead and put one end of my wire onto here. You heard I am fabulous. Well, I hope I don't disappoint you, Marianne. We had We had a lot of technical difficulties the other day. And you know what? I make some crazy stuff. So today, like I said, we're making hair beads. So I'm just going to pick one of these holes. I don't think it really matters. If you wanted to make two, one for each side of your head, you could put, them in opposite holes. Yeah, there's a lot of beady people out there. Yeah, it's hard to keep up with everybody, but we all do sort of end up figuring out who everybody is in the meantime. All right, so I've got that. I'm using medium, so I'm going to go ahead and use my magic crimper. So I'm kind of straightening that out. I am centering the crimp in the divot, and I'm squeezing, and it makes a little bit of a ravioli. And then we're going to turn it sideways, and we're going to squeeze again so it starts rounding. And then you're just going to gently squeeze all around that bead, keeping it centered, because otherwise you'll crush it and you end up with this nice little bead. All right, so then I just have to kind of decide how long I want my beads to be. I'm just going to cut about maybe 10 inches here, and I'm not even going to measure it because it doesn't really matter. Because it can be whatever I want it to be. And then I would say we're just going to go ahead and string some beads. So there's nothing magical to make on these hair beads other than figuring out what you want to do. Now, you definitely do want your heavier beads towards the bottom. So since these are my largest beads, I'll probably put the crystal on the bottom, and then the charm, okay? So to make sure that I get my green in, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of these. Oh, actually, I may not want to put these little tiny stars up there because I won't be able to get 2 threads through them, but I can through these others. So let's just now, what do you guys, I like to let you guys vote. So should I do just alternate a red, white, and blue? Should I do a blocks, like 3 red beads, 3 white beads, 3 blue beads? What do you think? Little blocks of color? Or every other one? I don't know if anybody has an opinion. So you do. I like to let you guys contribute to my designs, Maybe let's look and see what it looks like if I do like a block of 3. Lorraine votes for blocks. Right, we're demonstrating the blocks here. So there would be our block of red. So, you could use however many colors or however many beads you want. I've learned from people a long time ago that our brains apparently like odd numbers, so that's why I'm doing 3. So I would recommend, if you're gonna block them, do 3 to 5. Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I think, if you make patriotic ones, it'll be a lot of fun. My husband likes to dress up as a pirate for Halloween, so that's when I first started making hair beads. Ooh, look at that nice red, white, and blue. And then maybe we'll add a star. And then maybe I will put, now that I don't have double, we'll put a couple of these little green ones because, you know, I need my green leaves, right? If I can find the hole. And it's possible that it's too thick. Oh, there it goes. I found it. Hi, Janelda. Good to see you. We're making our hair beads. We're doing a little block pattern. And believe it or not, I justified my red, white, and blue in my rainforest as the red is, you know, flowers or berries, you know, fruit in the forest. And then the white is, you know, coconut, the inside of the coconut. I'm sure there might be white flowers as well. And the blue, because, you know, it's a rain forest, so you got to have water. So the blue represents the rain or the rivers. I think I'll switch this up. So anyways, that's my justification for red, white, and blue. And then I'm also adding in these little teeny tiny stars I have that are green zebra stone. Or, yeah, I think it's green zebra jasper. It just kind of snuggles in there next to that star. It doesn't really, not really noticeable, is it? But that's okay. All right, red, white, blue. All right, I think I'm only going to put the one section of green in there because I don't know. I just am. Because, you know, the green kind of detracts. But, you know, I think it was last year that I made this. It might have been the year before, but I had to add turquoise to my holiday design. So we did red, white, and blue and turquoise because all those colors go with turquoise, right? Does anybody have any big plans for the 4th of July? Here in Arizona, we have a big drought, so I think a lot of our fireworks will not happen this year. Actually, I kind of hope they don't. I don't like them when they're, I love to watch them from a distance, but I don't like it when people, like in my neighborhood, set them off. Because we have a lot of wildlife around here, and it really disturbs them. Fortunately, I don't have a dog, so that would make it even worse, but... All right. So the question is, how long do I want to make these? Let me I'll hold it on my head to see. I'll make it just a little longer. One more. No. All right, I don't have more of those. Do have to put this guy on there. Could do that now, though. Neighborhood cookout. Huh? One of my neighbors was trying to get a, you know, party together, but we didn't quite do that. So nobody wanted to host. The problem is it ends up around here because it's over 100 degrees, which I realize for a lot of you, it's you're getting some Arizona weather. Oh, okay. Or are you guys allowed to do fireworks where you are? Not that you necessarily want to encourage that, Janelda. But think this is fun. So let's go on. So we have our beads on here. So I have a couple choices here. So I can hook my charm on there directly. Now remember, I still have to use my clasp. So let me see if I didn't check this earlier. See if that would fit through there. Sort of does, but I get that. All right, so what I'm thinking is we will put our charm on, and then we are going to make a second set. Usually I only make one, but we are going to make a second set today. Okay. So I'm putting my crimp bead on there, and I'm just stringing this back through a couple of beads. Oh, that sounds lovely. It's always nice when you have water to launch the fireworks over. All right. Now we're just going to put these on a little ways. All right, so remember, you want to go back through some beads if you can, just in case your crimp fails. I want this to be able to move around a little bit, so I'm letting it dangle. All right, and again, where you center that, make a ravioli, we crush it sideways, and then we just keep going around. All right, and then I'm going to trim that. All right, so we have one hair bead. So let's quickly make a second one, because I need a second one in order to use my clasp. But now that we have our design, all I got to do is copy that, right? So, although I could make them different, but I'm thinking of just making them the same. All right, so I'm putting attaching my wire to the hair clip. Okay. Are any of you guys watching sports, watching the World Cup or anything? It was fun to see the U.S. win yesterday. I watched a couple games this week, at least the ends of the games that were pretty exciting. All right, so we've got our nice little bead there. Let's see how long we need to end up with quite as much extra this time. All right, but I do need red beads out. Okay. So, Marianne, if you're not a member of our Bead Stash Challengers group, I invite you to join us, and I'd love to see everybody some red, white, and blue designs. If you got anything that you're working on, or you made not too long ago. Why am I not able to? There we go. You know, I try not to feel old, and then when I go through the point where I can't find the hole in the bead, it makes me feel like I'm older and can't see anything. But sometimes it's just the holes are just hard to see, right? And these aren't even tiny, tiny beads. And we had some our bicones. Try not to fall off the side here. So. All right. I get my ends of my wire covered up so I can just slide these other beads on. All right. Java glass, that's what these blue, I couldn't remember. They're Java glass beads, so they're made in Indonesia, I think. I don't know. Bought a bunch from Stars Beads in the past, so. All right, we're using these little teeny tiny green guys to at least represent our leaves in our forest, right? I have a lot of this green zebra jasper in various sizes. This is, I will say, is the tiniest. I am not one that likes the teeny tiny beads. You have a pop-up to open. Yeah. It should allow you back, but if you want to wait until I'm signing off, maybe you can do that. Then you don't have to worry. It's just, it'll disappear once the video goes to replay. But if you don't get a chance, all you have to do is search for Bead Stash Challengers. And you should be able to find us. I do keep it as a private group so that I don't have to stay on top of spammers, which I get enough just wanting to, or pretending they want to buy things, so I don't need to have to monitor my group as well. But yeah, we share our designs, we share our cards. You guys, you get the heads up for whatever my latest projects are usually. I mean, I always give those to you verbally, but sometimes you get pictures early too. Like for quail, and I'm pretty sure everybody's quail kits got delivered, so I'm excited to see what you guys think about them. Directions are a little longer than usual because I had all of the 3 sizes are a little different. But I had a blast making them, and I am working on, I haven't finished my prototype with the new beads that I got for my cat, which will be the next one. And he can be a bobcat or a house cat or whatever. Where did I put the rest of my blue? Oh, there. I was like, I need more blue. Where'd my blue go? It's right in front of my face. So. It says, oh, okay. Well, that's good. Like I said, I don't always know who's members, so. All right, let's see where we're at here. Time for our big crystal. You don't remember everything. Like I said, I think some people invite people and it lets them in automatically, but welcome. So, hopefully you actually see the posts from there. I don't know. It's like I said, it does. Facebook does some weird things, but it does allow us all to hang out together and do these nice little beady projects live. So, oh, I put the wrong white beads on there. Shame on me. I get for not paying attention to what I'm doing, huh? Just beading away. It was meant to be. Well, hopefully you'll join us more often when you have a chance. Like I said, I'm always on it this time, although those of you that don't live in Arizona, it does change. Since I live in Arizona, we don't go on daylight savings time, so I do it at 12 o'clock my time year-round, which I know is an inconvenience to some of you because it changes time on you, but maybe someday you'll all join Arizona and not go on daylight savings. We're always happy here when the sun goes down. Massachusetts, okay. Lorraine's in Massachusetts too. I don't know if you guys know each other, but all right, I'm tightening my. Oop, there we go. All right, and then we're just gonna make ravioli. And again, you turn it 90 degrees and then you just squeeze gently. All right. Okay, there we go. We got our two pairs of hair beads. So you could have, you know, two different people could wear these to match with your, you know, or what you can do is put them on each on one side of the head, and we're going to use this fancy little double clasp here. And you can make a loop so that they're not dangling. All right. What do you guys think? That are decent use of my clasp? We'll so, you know, if you had really long hair, you could have this sort of drape around the back. The other thing you can do, like when I wear my hair up, if I put these in, I could also still have them up in my hair, and then they still add some color. So let's see if I'm going to go ahead and so I'm doing this without my mirror, so all right, let's see what we got here. All right, so I've got my hair beads in both sides with the attachment across the back, and then I can take that off and I can just have dangles. And like I said, if you do this, you know, you could, depending on where you hooked in, you can have these dangling as part of your ponytail, right? So, all right, there we go. We have hair beads. I think these need to be further up on my head. Okay, put them up top and dangle. And like I said, you know, you can connect them with this clasp, or you could use that to dangle something longer on there. Actually, that kind of keeps it out of the way now. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm gonna that's as good as it's gonna get. Oh, great, Marianne. You have fun with that. Like I said, you know, it's not something that you need every day, but you can also make short ones, and it ends up just being a barrette with a little extra something. It doesn't have to be long and dangly if you make hair beads. So some people think those are just silly, but you know, they can be fun, especially around holidays. And like I said, I think the kids would love them. So there you go. So thanks again for joining me. I will be putting this post over on you do have some blue, white blue from BBB. Okay, I will be putting this post or the video over on on YouTube on our Desert Cat Creations channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, as well as like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. It's a free way to help businesses. Yeah, I was thinking about that, wrapping around my ponytail and then using the clasp. So, you know, so I use the clasp as long as I have everything on there, but, you know, you don't have to use it all the time. Anyways, and again, a reminder, our sale, our 20% off all our kits, beads, mixes, and cards goes through July 11th, which is next week from Saturday. You can either direct message me with anything you're interested in, or you can go to the website and use code SUMMER20. It's SUMMER 20. Okay? And if you ever have any questions, just reach out, direct message Desert Cat Creations, or you can comment on a post and I will respond to you and get back to you. And if you're on YouTube, if you comment on YouTube, it will send me an email. We'll discuss whatever it is, what questions you have, okay? I hope you all have a great 4th of July, and I will see you on Sunday at noon Pacific time for week 27. And I just want to remind you, today is exactly the halfway through the year. Apparently, it's today, not a few days ago, but I was reading something that said today is the exact halfway point through the year. Okay, so we are halfway through there. and it'll it'll be here. Christmas will be here before we know it. So again, get your kits now. Get your bead mixes and your cards, and we will see you all on Sunday. All right, bye.